on your a little in little squares, but
Squares.
they won't be on YouTube.
Right.
Oh, and speaking of YouTube, here we go.
So Neil, when you're going to do announcements, and then you're going to introduce me, and at that point I'm still off at quarter after.
In little squares, but they
You'll
won't be
you'll
on
be no you will be the beginner.
Yeah,
All
but what I'm
right, so
saying
we are
is,
live.
you're going to do announcements.
Okay. So
And then you come back at the end, right? He comes back at the end.
yeah. Oh yes. I'm sorry. Yes. So that's correct. All right. Well, I'd like to welcome everybody to our eighth um, concert in our series, "This Land Is Our Land," sponsored by the Musicians for the Greater Good. We are raising funds for the Biden-Harris campaign. You can donate at musiciansforthegreatergood.org. We have a great concert tonight, including Chris Wilhelm, Jan Luby, Ron Israel, Peg Espinola, and Sol Icanto. And to open our show tonight, and before I do that, just a belated surprise, I'm just going to hold this up, and I hope I can do it right to show you where you can donate the money. I'll be doing that both in the chat and as well as on YouTube. But we do want, this is a fundraiser, so we do want to do that. And tonight we have a most wonderful opening headliner for this night. His name is Greg Greenway, and it's very likely most of you, if not all of you, know Greg Greenway, who I'm going to just throw up onto the stage momentarily. And in fact, I'm going to do it right now. And I'm going to bring Greg Greenway up onto the stage. And I just want to read just a little bit of a bio about Greg Greenway for the few of you who may not know Greg. And I've been blessed to know him for many years now. Greg is originally from Richmond, Virginia. Greg moved to Boston for its rich folk tradition and has become one of its most unique and superlative emissaries. Let me just make sure my light is good so I can see. His In the Name of Love, a lead into the U2 classic Pride, was a number 5 song on the folk DJ list in 2013. It has become a defining piece on his journey to become an international artist capable of addressing sensitive topics like race in a way that connects audiences to their humanity while entertaining them at the same time. And I don't want to take up any more of anybody else's time because we've got a great show ahead of us. And to all of you on YouTube, thank you for being there and make sure you donate. Let's hear it for Greg Greenway, everybody. Hey, Greg.
Thank you, thank you. Ooh, I did a program with a woman who was the first black woman elected in Mississippi. Her name is Flunzy Brown Wright. And the question was asked of her after years and years and years. She was in her 70s. They said, did you ever quit? Did you ever feel like quitting, just time after time, day after day? And she said, I quit every night. She said, I woke up every morning, I put my shoes back on, and I started over. So here's a little song that comes from that, because we need some hope right now. And that's what I wrote this song. Hey, just a little bit of hope, everybody, a little bit of hope. Everyone, oh my, man, just love, I got the words already. Oh, my heart is broken, the work is never done. You could quit every night, tired of the fight. Then up comes the morning sun, but your heart is still beating. That's where the hope comes from, just a little bit of hope. Everybody, a little bit of hope. Everyone, oh, my feet are tired. The race is barely run. You could quit every night, tired of the fight. Then up comes the morning sun. Then my feet, they start moving, moving. That's where the hope comes from. Just a little bit of hope. Everybody, a little bit of hope. Everyone, oh, my hands are weary. The work is never done. You could quit every night, tired of the fight. Up comes the morning sun, then my hands they start moving, moving. That's where the hope comes from. That's where the hope comes from. Just a little bit of hope, everybody, a little bit of hope. Everyone, oh, my voice is faltering. The song is barely sung. You could quit every night, tired of the fight. Then up comes the morning sun. Then the people start singing, singing. That's where the hope comes from. Then the people start singing, singing. That's where the hope comes from. That's where the hope comes from.
Greg, that was awesome. That was totally awesome. Thanks, Greg.
All right, gonna move over to the piano. The horrible thought occurred to me driving down the New Jersey Turnpike that if I died, my brothers would be the ones talking for me and telling people who I was. And I just realized that can't happen. So what I decided to do was write a song to tell you who I am. And how do you tell anybody's life in a short amount of time? But I tried to do it in this, and from the standpoint of if someone was going to paint a painting of me to capture all the things that I am, this is what I would ask. If you paint me blue, cerulean September sky. There must be a yellow sun and something far in passing by. For I am made of all of this, a mother's love, a lover's kiss. My brother's pain, a dove, a fist, and more. And more. Above the sparkle of the sea, render me that distant thing. Over hues of blues and greens, a glint of gold on fleeting wings. For I am made of all of this, a mother's love, a lover's kiss. My sister's struggle to persist, and more. And more than the hand that pulls the big broad strokes of destiny, more than you can fill in the rest of me. Frame me with translucent time, a moment like no other. Paint needs, how you will this life of mine. A melody in colors, for I am made of all of this, a mother's love, a lover's kiss, my brother's pain, a dove, a fist, and more, and more.
That was beautiful, Greg.
Beautiful.
That really was wonderful.
Beautiful.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, Greg.
I had, it just seems like we have to turn the air conditioning off in my house to, to not have the roar of that. The vent is right up there coming into my microphone. And I forget this. Every time we do that, the dew settles in on my keyboard. So that was...
That keyboard is horrible.
Well, it certainly sounded wonderful to us. So,
Okay. Well, this is a song that Neil wanted me to play, and I didn't know that he wanted me to play it, and I'm just in playing it, I'm making him happy. So
there you go.
thank you for putting all of this together. Thanks to everybody who's going to make this night happen. I hope that we raise money for the Biden campaign. We just can't take 4 more years of what's been going on. There are very fine people on both sides. I've never forgotten that. This is a song about hate. It really comes from Martin Luther King saying, "Hate is too heavy a burden to carry." It's called Jericho Road. And thank you guys for having me. At the edge, Jericho Road, beneath the street lights, yellow, orange glow. The feared and the fallen go, in the way of predator and prey. No one spared, 'cause hate is too great a weight to bear. In a cage of shadows we meet, naked, bloodied in the street. That the mercy at the feet of the way of predator and prey. No one spared, 'cause hate is too great a weight to bear. In the darkness, on shattered pavement, the better angels fade. Blurred in slumber, murder by numbers. Do you know my name? Do you know my name? Would I believe in you? 'Cause everyone holds some part of the truth. Now I'm in your way. Do we stay on Jericho Road, forever going nowhere? Hate is too great a weight to bear. Hate is too great a weight to bear. Hate
Thank you. Very
Thank
nice.
you so much, Greg. And I remember seeing you so many times in concert when you sang that song, and you've talked about it ahead of time and given the story about when the day you wrote that. And it just means so much to all of us, especially right now, and especially with what you said about what we need to do real soon. In just 22 days, is it? 21 now. But thank you. And for everybody listening, both here and on YouTube, Greg will be back at the end of our show, so don't go away, don't go far. So we're going to be moving on to our next performer. Thank you so much again, Greg. And our next performer is going to be a wonderful dear friend of mine for a very long time, and that'll be Chris Wilhelm. And Chris now calls home down in Asheville, North Carolina, and that's where he's coming to us from. And just a little bit about Chris for those of you who don't know him. Chris is known for bringing positive vibes and uplifting messages. That's true. I've known him for a whole bunch of years. His indie folk rock is infectious and insightful. Based in the beautiful mountains of Asheville, North Carolina, he loves to play in Western North Carolina and abroad. In his new album, Chris Wilhelm reveals new layers of vulnerability that had previously been unexpressed. Chris also speaks to the pandemic with a sense of hope. His first album in 5 years, This Too Shall Pass, is a record for survivors, outsiders, and dreamers. Music includes co-producer Chris Rosser, Free Planet Radio, Zach Page and Jock Maddox, Debrisa McKenney, and Asher Lay. I hope I'm pronouncing the names right, Chris. Here, the album at Chris Wilhelm Here, HEAR, now.com. And I don't want to say a heck of a lot more, except I want to introduce my dear friend, who you actually used to live in Rosendale for a whole long time. Chris Wilhelm, everybody. Let's hear it for Chris.
Thank you. It's so awesome that you guys put this event together, and it's great to be playing as a part of this great event. And thank you, Neil and Mike and Andrea and everybody for doing this. It's a really great cause. Thanks for the kind words, and this is This Too Shall Pass. Rushing by 100,000 moments flash before my eyes, and this too shall pass. This too shall pass. The morning is a-coming, and this too shall pass. There's a fire burning in the sun, the passing of a train, the distance that brought us closer, we did obtain. The tiger was out of the cage, there were tears upon the page. There were so many awkward moments where people were afraid, and this too shall pass. This too shall pass. The morning is a-coming, and this politics and bad gravy never mix too well. There's a dream that I keep having. We're all together now. We're all perfectly flawed people, realizing boundaries. It's time to blow the whistle, 'cause now it's everything. Here we go, everybody. And this too shall pass. This too shall pass. The winds will keep on blowing, and this too shall pass. One more time. And this too shall pass. This too shall pass. For the morning is a-coming, and this too shall pass.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Great sing along.
Great tune. I certainly hope this too will pass. Thank
you.
you.
I like the songs of hope. Definitely, it's good to keep those songs flowing, you know. And yep. This next one's called "I'm Still Praying for a Miracle." It's okay not to be okay. No one knows what tomorrow will bring, but it's not all doom and gloom. We can move mountains if you only believe, and we shall rise up. We shall stand tall, 'cause right now it means more. We are stronger together, and I'm still praying for a miracle, and I'm still praying for a miracle. Father Giuseppe Bordelli, a 72-year-old priest, gave up his respirator to a younger patient. And we shall rise up, we shall stand tall, 'cause right now it means more. We are stronger together, and I'm still praying for a miracle, and I'm still praying for a miracle. Oh, guardian angel, oh, Mother Earth, what can I say about the unthinkable? What can I say about you? Strange days indeed, as they sung from the rooftops and balconies. She stood upon these empty streets as we sang a song in a brand new key. And we shall rise up, she'll stand tall. 'Cause right now it means more. We are stronger together. And I'm still praying for a miracle. And I'm still praying for a miracle. And I'm still praying for a miracle.
Chris, that was,
Yeah,
that's great.
we all are.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Chris, for playing and for being here. And anything in particular that inspired those songs? I mean, you're so much about hope and looking forward to things, and you always have been.
Yeah. I mean, a couple of books I was reading really inspired me. Norman Vincent Peale, You Can If You Think You Can. Very hopeful. He also did The Power of Positive Thinking. That was very inspiring. Both of those books, and just reading just all the news, kind of just soaked into the songs, and probably those are the biggest inspiration for those songs.
Well, they were both great songs, and thanks so much for sharing them with us. And and please thank Andrea as well for all she's done for us. Let's hear it again for Chris Wilhelm, everybody. Thanks so much, Chris. Great job. All right, now we're going to be moving on to our next performer, who is yet another wonderful performer. And let me just do a little spotlighting onto our dear performer of Jan Luby. And Jan Luby, just for those of you who may not know Jan, as well as I may, Jan is a storyteller known for her engaging stage presence. I agree with that. And voice full of passion, range, and power. Power. Her. I can't even read my own writing here. Comfortable on festival stage in front of thousands, as she is irreverent, heartbreaking, and humorous. She is as bit as comfortable on that stage in front of thousands as she is in intimate settings like coffee houses or open mics like ours, and singing from her cell phone or in solitary confinement.
From my cell in solitary confinement, not my cell phone.
They let you have a phone in solitary?
Really, what can I say? I didn't put on my magnifying glass, Jan. But if you want to see more and hear more about, gotta put some humor into all of this, right? If you want to see and hear more of Jan, go to www.janluby.com. And I will say no more. Let's listen to our dear friend Jan Luby, everybody.
Thanks, Neil. Thanks so much for having me. Thank you, Karen and Kathy and Mike. Also, thank you, Neil. So this song came out of it was lunchtime. I was in the middle of nowhere diner, and there was a little girl and her mom having lunch behind me in the booth behind me. And the television was on and the news, and you know who was talking. And the little girl turned to her mom and said, "Mommy, why is he always so mean?" And I thought there was a song in there. It was originally something like 16 verses. Don't worry, it's not anymore. I cut it down to like a third of that and recently added a few lines at the end. But it was written like early 2019, I believe. And there's new material every day. You can't keep track, so... We knew he wouldn't win, it was just a bit of fun. Oh, he could never win, he was just gonna run. Then out crawled fear and hatred, things he loves to feed. And a bunch of people said, that's just the man we need. Barely in office, he called a Muslim ban. Made a power grab with his tiny hands. Separated families running for their lives. Our Lady Liberty hangs her head and cries. We don't need a wall, we need health care for all. We want our air and water clean. Let's not divide as he has done. We could work as one. Let's elect someone who's not so mean. He'll rid us of Obamacare and gut the EPA. Spread nasty rumors, anyone gets in his way. Say something often, it don't matter if it's true. If people want to believe, that's what they're gonna do. He used to be pro-choice when it suited his life. Just see his love for women in how he treats his wife. And when Dr. Ford came forward, what did she have to gain? He made a joke of her and every woman's pain. We don't need a wall, we need health care for all. We want our air and water clean. Let's not divide as he has done. We can work as one. Let's elect someone who's not so mean. Well versed in bankruptcy, he'll bring this country down. Our friendships around the world battered to the ground. He's got nothing to hide except his tax returns. And if he turned them over, I wonder what we'd learn. He knows Putin is his friend. He's the smartest guy. He knows all the answers, even if each one's a lie. And look who's by his side. He drained the swamp all right. But you don't have to worry if you're rich, male, and white. We don't need a wall, we need health care for all. We want our air and water clean. Let's not divide as he has done. We can work as one. Let's elect someone who's not so mean. Well, now he plays his stupid games while so many people die. When we need a leader, he doesn't even try. Responsibility, he just passes it along. We need to vote him out, that's why I wrote this song. We don't need a wall, we need health care for all. We want our air and water clean. Let's not divide as he has done. We can work as one. Let's elect someone who's not so mean. Let's elect someone who's not so mean.
Oh, beautiful.
Thank you for that.
And we do have a good ticket, Democratic ticket. Our votes are going. My husband and I voted by mail, and they're going in the drop box in the morning. So don't forget to vote if you haven't already, and donate, donate, donate. I know everybody has donation fatigue, but it's important. Vote like your life depended on it. Let's see. All right. So this song is going to show you just how old I am. Because it spans from the 60s till now. And it's not really a political song, more spiritual, about how everything you do makes a difference. You know, just talking to your neighbor one-on-one about issues or whatever it is you do. Every little thing helps. We wrote letters to our leaders, voted for the best, but nothing seemed to change, and we could not let it rest. We wrote letters to the papers, poems and songs of peace, all from different backgrounds, took to the streets. And we gathered in large numbers against the war, sang in our capital what are we fighting for? There we were in the thousands, and I saw color and light around us all, connecting us, a rare and beautiful sight. One heart, and the world changed. We were mothers, sisters, daughters, doing what we could do. Sit down in the road, not let the uranium through. And when the trucks were rerouted, we moved silently as one, knowing we'd all get arrested at the mercy of club and gun. 68 women, without a word, without a sound, doing this one small thing in this world, spinning round. There we were, linked together, and I saw color and light around us all, connecting us, a rare and beautiful sight. One heart, and the world changed. What change is temporary, pendulums pause and then swing. At the end of this long night, what will morning bring? A monk in meditation, a thief in a crowd, a family at the table, a woman singing too loud. Oh, everything you do means something, no matter how small you feel. The tiniest of creatures adds their weight to the wheel.
Wow.
Beautiful, Jan.
Wow.
Much.
Thank you. I tuned because I love you. Whoops. I'm sorry. Kind of knocked myself out there. So I was really lucky to get a CD release party in. Actually, two of them. One was at Roslindale Open Mic, and the week before that, down in Providence, I had a CD release party on my birthday, before everything shut down. I almost feel guilty. But this is on the new album. It's called Night Window, and it's kind of written for Pete Seeger. All right, let's see. By the way, you can go to my website and listen to all my music, everything that's recorded anyway, for free. But please donate tonight. Not to me, to the Biden-Harris campaign. And Neil will tell you again how to do that, right, Neil? When I was a child, I colored grass orange, the princess's hair light green. I was told the sky isn't red, but I knew what I'd seen. They said clouds are white, the sky is blue, the sun is yellow when it shines, and you should always be more careful to color inside the lines, coloring outside the lines, outside the lines, with my heart wide open to all I might find, coloring outside the lines. And I made friends of different colors. Some thought I'd crossed a line, still so dear, 50 years and counting, these forever friends of mine. And I joined people out taking chances, making a world of their design. Seems there are more and more people outside the lines, coloring outside the lines, outside the lines, with our hearts wide open to all we might find, coloring outside the lines. Here's a song to the ones who don't follow, who listen to a voice their own. While you tell them that they can't make a difference, they're busy growing the seeds they've sown, coloring outside the lines, outside the lines, with our hearts wide open to all we might find, coloring outside the lines, with our hearts wide open to all we might find, coloring outside the lines.
I love
Jan
that
Luby,
song.
everybody.
Thank you
So much,
Awesome.
for
Jan.
doing this.
Wow.
Oh, thank you for doing that. And because of Jan and my snafu on there, I had to put my old grandfather glasses on that magnify everything. And per Jan's order, I do want to put up a little
There you
thing
go.
to show you that you can donate this way if you'd like, going to the Act Blue page. Am I doing it the right way?
Yeah, that's good.
You got it.
Okay, that's one way, or else you can simply go to our Musicians for the Greater Good, www.musiciansforthegreatergood.org website, and there's a donate button right there. So either way,
Yes.
please do
Enjoy
donate
the rest of the night.
for the rest of the night as often as you can, as many times as you can. I want once again, thanks again, Jan Luby. Great job. All right, moving on to our next performer, who is something that's near and dear to the Musicians for the Greater Good, and that is going to be one of the two founders of Musicians for the Greater Good, and that's Ron Israel. And let me just say a few words about Ron Israel, and the very few words that Ron Israel gave me to say about him. And then I'll say a few words about Ron Israel. Is one of the original founders, along with Stephen Martin, of Musicians for the Greater Good back in 2018. So they were a little way ahead of our time. So when Karen and Mike and myself were asked to be part of this, we were very honored. But Ron Israel has been writing songs since he was 12. His work focuses on expression of life, love, and the world in which we live. His work has been praised by the late John Hammond Sr. of Columbia Records, Richie Havens, Barry McGuire, and NPR's Susan Stamberg. Ron's website is www.ronisraelmusic.com. Ron Israel is a very dear friend of mine and has been for many years, and has come to my own open mic along with Mike Delaney for many years as well. So we've been graced to have him, as has many open mic that he's gone to, and he's put on such very powerful performances of social justice. As you could see the sign behind him, he's the executive director of the global
Global Citizens Initiative.
Thank you for knowing the name of your organization. And he put on a fabulous show with the feature at that particular one with Sarah Lee Guthrie, and it was just a great night of music. So I don't want to say any more except let's hear it for Ron Israel, everybody.
Thanks, Neil. As most people know, this is a dark time, and but there are also rays of light as part of this time. And so I'm going to do this little short set that tries to take you through my songs from a dark place to hopefully a lighter and a more hopeful one. But I have to start with the dark. And that for me was really last week when President Trump came down with coronavirus and spread it to all the people in the Rose Garden. And it seemed to me that this was really a kind of low point in the whole evolution of the Trump administration. And so I wrote this song that I'm going to play tonight. I'm getting excuse me, Neil, I'm getting like this weird sign on my screens for Musicians for the Greater Good. Is that just me? Oh, it went away. Sorry. Okay, it was me. Anyway, this song is called American Tragedy. The name of today's show is American Tragedy. It has a cast of thousands, including you and me. It's a little long in length, maybe 50 years, but it gives you lots to laugh at and twice as many tears. It's on down at the drive-in, a place where we can go. No need to wear our masks when we take in the show. It's got a couple of scenes, not for the family. You watch as folks mess up in American tragedy. There's a scene when a billionaire doesn't pay no tax. A scene where police shoot a black man in the back. A scene when the internet spreads conspiracy. That's part of the plot in American Tragedy. The director has a cut that you won't want to miss about millions of our citizens with coronavirus. Their leaders had no plan for their recovery, so people lost their way in American tragedy. When we saw this film, we all felt real sad. We wanted to shoot the president, but that would have been bad, 'cause he just took advantage of the props and scenery. Just a tragic figure in American tragedy. My wife, she's a critic. She offered this review. She said, "You won't want to watch this if it's something you've been through, but it's a special film all kids must see. They need to learn the lessons in American tragedy. American tragedy, where the critics never cease. American tragedy, no curtain call, please.
Wonderful.
Okay, so I can't leave you there. I can't leave you there. I said I'm going to take you out of that place. So that's what I'm going to try to do next. So this song is a song that was inspired by a speech that I heard Joe Biden give. It's called What's on the Ballot. Characters on the ballot, and here's the reason why. All we want is a decent soul, a regular guy. We don't want someone who just gets in the way. That's why characters on the ballot. I'm voting character today. Kindness is on the ballot, and here's the reason why. Lately there's such meanness, makes you wanna cry. We need someone who says, how are you? I hope you're doing okay. That's why kindness is on the ballot. I'm voting kindness today. Democracy is on the ballot, and here is the reason why. Our system works when everyone gets a decent try. We don't think anyone should always get their way. That's why democracy is on the ballot. I'm voting democracy today. I never vote just with my brain, always with my heart. I don't like the candidates that tear us apart. Unity is on the ballot. Now that might seem far-fetched, but maybe if we all cooled down, it wouldn't be such a stretch. United is what we call ourselves. It's how we find our way. That's why unity is on the ballot. I'm voting unity today. Please bring back the US of A.
Israel, everybody. Great job, Ron.
That was a very inspiring speech that Biden gave, and those were the values. I like Biden because I think he's like the perfect candidate to take down Trump, and because he's really more about values, good values, than policy. I mean, policy will come. So I'm going to close with this song that is on, I've done 2 CDs just focused on protest songs, social justice songs. This is a song, All in This Together. It's from my CD called Tribal Wars, available on my website, on CD Baby, on Spotify, and wherever. It's produced by my good friend Doug Kortler. All in this together, brother, don't you know? All in this together, hey, that's just how we roll. Going through hard times, dark forces rule the land. They won't go away though, unless we make a stand. And I ain't standing no place unless I stand with you. I ain't going nowhere unless you're going too. All in this together, body and soul. All in this together, 'cause that's just how we roll. You say you got some ideas and we disagree. That might be true, but ideas are just like leaves. They come in different colors, offer you some shade, but in the end they all fall down with the difference they think they've made. All in this together, so the story's told. All in this together, that's just how we roll. They put us in our places, call us dumb or smart, wear different colors that make us look apart. But that kind of branding, it only goes so far. Deep inside you see how similar we are. All in this together, that's how they made the mold. All in this together, that's just how we roll. That's just how we roll. At the end of the day, we rise together, fall together, though it don't seem that way. Someone always seems to be putting up a fight, but there won't be no victory unless we can unite. All in this together, don't misread the road. All in this together, 'cause that's just how we roll. That's just how we roll. Thank you.
Ron Israel, everybody. Great job, Ron.
Awesome, Ron.
Woo!
Thank you so much. Thank you. You
Great stuff.
did a great job, and to all of you thus far, you're getting some really high praise on YouTube as well. I'm trying to do my best to keep up with that as well. All right. Well, thank you, Ron. And next up is going to be our wonderful friend,
That's good.
and there's Fern, and even Fern made a wonderful comment. So I saw that as well. But thank you both for being here and for making this whole thing happen. All right, moving right along, we're going to go over to Peg Espinola, who has been a friend for many years. And let me read you, for those of you who don't know Peg, and you can tell right off the bat who she's voting for. And by the way, yes, I did vote, Jan. Just to let you know, I voted 4 days ago. So I got my ballot and I sent it in. And it's hopefully it's all already maybe counted. So Peg says that she's been playing guitar since the age 15. First grade teacher was a fellow teenager, Mike Seeger.
First,
Only
no,
saying
guitar teacher. First guitar teacher.
for okay.
My first
That
grade.
actually
He and
would
I are
it
within 4
actually
years of one another.
there was a typo there. I didn't see guitar because I have
Yeah.
my have my old person glasses on now. So it said first guitar teacher was
Yes.
at age 15. Uh, a fellow teenager, Mike Seeger. Only sang other people's song until 2004 when a class with Bob Frankie, who we all know and love, at WUMB's music camp, CMW, made me into a songwriter. My songs reflect my long life, but also my lifetime concern for social justice, democratic values. I am currently the Sudbury captain of the Metro West for Biden campaign, as well as for our state rep, Carmine Gentili, for whom I just wrote a song. I've also written songs for Hillary, as well as for Biden and for the donkey, and an anti-Trump rant called "Resistance" and it's on YouTube, and you can find her other music on cdbaby.com//
Nope,
CD.
not anymore.
Oh, not anymore.
No, I went there and they have closed their shop.
Oh, they closed their
So
shop.
you can't find me there. You can find me on YouTube. Most of my
Yep.
songs are. They're also on Spotify, I think,
Uh,
still.
well, see, and that's good. But and the last part was YouTube /Peg Espinola,
Yeah.
and I will have not even have to say another word because she's going to say it all in her own music. Let's hear it for Peg Espinola, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you, Peg.
Boy, it's getting to be a very hard act to follow one after the other. Wonderful, wonderful songs. I almost changed my set list, but I decided better that I should play what I've recently practiced. I kind of wanted to play that rant from 2016, November 9th, which was the day after the election. But no, I'm going to play this instead, which is more present focused. This song actually started off as I'll be voting for the donkey in the fall. I wrote it in December when we didn't know who our nominee would be, and then I changed it to I'll be voting for Joe Biden in the fall, which of course is future tense. I have already voted, but forget about that. And then he chose Kamala, so I had to change it again. Fortunately, I'm in a songwriting circle, and I had some help. One person, Dorothea, she took out the reference to tea, and she showed me how I could talk about it without saying that terrible word. And then John McClain added a wonderful word to the last verse. So here this is. I'll be voting Biden Harris in the fall. For our people, country, earth, I'll heed the call. Now that both are in the saddle, they are busy doing battle, and we're voting Biden Harris in the fall. We can't suffer 4 more years of 45, watching all our treasured values cast aside. With his racist, sexist tweeting, his incompetence and cheating, we can't suffer 4 more years of 45. Joe has empathy, integrity, and heart. He'll surround himself with people who are smart. He'll let truth and science bind us. Better times again will find us, and he'll stop the forces driving us apart. Biden picked the most appealing running mate. She's intelligent, she's gutsy, she is great. She will add a new perspective, make our platform more effective. I'm so glad that Joe put Kamala on the slate. I'll be voting Biden Harris in the fall. For our people, country, earth, I'll heed the call. Now that both are in the saddle, we'll make 45 skedaddle as we vote for Biden Harris in the fall. Let's all vote for Biden Harris in the fall.
Woo!
Yay.
Yeah.
I like
That was
skedaddle.
awesome. That was great, Peg.
Money helps. I do a lot of things, and I drive people to do things too. I drive them out of their mind, and sometimes they say, "I thank you for all that you're doing, but take me off your mailing list." But and other people say, look, I'd rather eat worms than be on a phone bank. I love that was my favorite of that one, that type. But I donate. I said donating is very good. So if you don't want a phone bank or you don't want to go drop lit, which I've been doing in New Hampshire, just give money. It's just as important. Got to keep up those ads. Got to keep, you know, his ads are just, horrendous. Every now and then I see one. So we need, and his rallies, God forbid. So we need our own stuff. All right, this next song started out very differently. I wrote it, I'm not quite sure exactly what the date, in June. And it just started off being a kind of funny little song about role reversal in the pandemic. Those of us over a certain age, our children, our adult children, are beginning to parent us already, which can be a real pain in the, tuchus. It shows they love us. But so that's what it started out, and then something happened. So that brought me to a different place, and so I wrote the song called The Two Pandemics. This doggone plague has cramped my style. Haven't seen my kids in quite a while. They tell me, Mom, please toe the line. Hey, they've got their lives and I've got mine. I wear a mask, I know the drill. So if I'm sick, won't make you ill. And my Perel, I've got that too. Now I can shop like young folks do. I'll grab some fish and some TP, then pick up kale. It's good for me. I'll take my place in the checkout line, then go straight home, and I'll be fine. My kids would suffer were I to die, so I watch TV, see the world pass by. But then George Floyd, cop stops his breath, and I must protest his wrongful death. I hope I live to see the day when COVID-19 fades away, and the other plague with roots so long. I pray we finally right the wrong. We'll face the past, admit our shame, learn how we white folks are to blame, then work for true equality and build a world where all breathe free. We'll build a world where all breathe free.
Love that.
Yeah,
I
really
love
good.
that.
Thanks.
I feel it's kind of bait and switch. You think you're getting this cute little song, but they're both true. So I do have time for one more song. This one I wrote in 2017, and it's not as partisan. It's still very much social justice oriented, because we weren't doing a great job with this when we were in charge of everything. And of course, Trump made it much, much worse, his people. Just horrendous. So anyway, this is called The Journey, and it is on my most recent CD, which is called The Truth About 80, which came out 3 years ago. To the border or the fence across the endless sand, we will journey many miles to reach the promised land, reach the promised land. Moving northward from Honduras with our kids in tow, fleeing guns and games and violence, bound for Mexico. Climbed on boxcars, fought off bandits, further north we sped, Finally reached the Texas border, no place for bed, no place for a bed. We knew we had to leave, the choice was do or die. We knew that we could fail, but still we had to try. They said it would be hard, the lucky getaway. The captured are detained, some few of us may stay. Found Coyote, gave him money, gave him all we had. Can we trust this new acquaintance? Is he good or bad? He knows how to cross the border where the fence is weak. We will climb or tunnel under to the peace we seek, to the peace we seek. We knew we had to leave, the choice was do or die. We knew that we could fail, but still we had to try. They said it would be hard, the lucky getaway. The captured are detained, some few of us may stay. Now we hear them, men and horses, are they on our track? If they find us, we'll be jailed and then they'll send us back. Night has fallen, someone's left us water in the sand. Someone hopes that we will make it to the promised land, to the promised land. We knew we had to leave, the choice was do or die. We knew that we could fail, but still we had to try. They said it would be hard, the lucky getaway. The captured are detained, some few of us may stay. To the border or the fence across the endless sand, we have journeyed many miles to reach the promised land, reach the promised land.
That was great, Peg. That's great.
Wow,
Very nice.
great stuff.
Uh,
Wow.
That was great, Peg. And just so you'll know, you're getting a whole bunch of applause on the YouTube side as well. So
Thank you.
you so much, Peg Espanola, everybody.
Thank you for having me.
Stardust,
This was
Peg.
wonderful.
Oh, it's been a great night so far, and it's going to continue to be that way. And we're gonna move on to our next wonderful artist, and that's going to be Soli Canto. And let me introduce both of them to all of you who have maybe not have met them, because this was my first time meeting them, and it's my honor. Soli Canto is Rosie and Brian Amador. Their Latin roots music to change the world. They're passionate, poetic, playful, honest. Soli Canto features Rosie Amador's crystalline voice and husband Brian Amador's. I love the way I'm laughing too. Brian Amador's sumptuous Spanish guitar playing and unique compositions from the here goes, guys. The Nueve Canción Tradition. Did I do that right? I hope.
Nueva canción.
Powerful and often humorous songs in richly diverse Latin rhythms touch on their themes of hope, social justice, food, love in genres and ranging from gentle ballads to churning Latin dance tunes. More of their items can be found at www, and I'll spell it out, SOLYCANTO.com. So www.solicanto.com. New live CD is En Vivo, En Familia, available now.
Muy bien.
Hey, gracias. I will say no more than let's hear for Soli Canto, everybody.
Gracias. Gracias. Thank you so much for having us, and what an honor to be with everyone who has shared this virtual stage. We have really enjoyed hearing all of you. And I'm going to let Brian introduce the first song because it's his composition.
We're going to start with a relatively new song, although, you know, the way things are changing these days, it feels old already. I wrote it way at the beginning of the summer, back when the president was pretending to care about coronavirus and having these news conferences daily, when all he really did was talk about himself. And so that was the inspiration for this song. Unfortunately, much of it is still current. It's called charlatan, which means a charlatan or just someone who talks an awful lot. And there's a chorus in Spanish that you can join us on. It says, muchos murieron, muchos morirán en la penumbra de aquel charlatán, which means many have died, many will die in the shadow of that charlatan. Y dice, some would say the man's a genius, and some would say insane. It doesn't matter what he's saying, he's there to entertain. He lets the experts say a few words, and then he steps right in. There's only one thing he can talk about, it's always about him. Muchos murieron, muchos morirán en la penumbra de aquel charlatán. Muchos murieron, muchos morirán en la penumbra de aquel charlatán. We've seen an awful lot of suffering, been going on a while. We could use a little kindness, but that's just not his style. You've seen him standing at the podium, you've heard him brag and spew, but there is one thing you won't hear from him, it's that he cares for you. Muchos murieron, muchos morirán en la penumbra de aquel charlatán. Muchos murieron, muchos morirán en la penumbra de aquel charlatán. He's got a lot of loyal people standing by him still. They'd rather die than lose their faith in him, and many of them will. They'll follow anywhere he leads them, their trust is so sincere. They follow him to Armageddon, I'd just as soon stay here. Muchos murieron, muchos morirán en la penumbra de aquel charlatán. Muchos murieron, muchos morirán en la penumbra de aquel charlatán. Muchos murieron, muchos morirán en la penumbra de aquel charlatán. Muchos murieron, muchos morirán en la penumbra de aquel charlatán. Abre la boca y sale una mentira, la gente se muere y no tiene un plan. Muchos murieron, muchos morirán en la penumbra de aquel charlatán. Muchos murieron, muchos morirán en la penumbra de aquel charlatán.
¡Oh, arriba!
Gracias. Gracias. It kind of felt like the debut, even though we did it one more time, and it's
That's
kind
right.
of glued together a little bit better. I wanted to also just say hi to friends in Spanish. Por si acaso hay personas aquí presentes que hablen principalmente el español, queremos brindarles la bienvenida. Saludos a nuestros amigos latinoamericanos o de descendencia latina y espero que estén disfrutando de este programa muy especial y que le donen a Joe Biden y Kamala Harris.
That's right.
That's the most
Así es.
important thing. Please donate to Biden and Harris. Okay, entonces,
This,
another original actually.
yeah, this one is called Olor a Chiles, the smell of chilies. It's part of a suite that I wrote a few years ago, and this particular song talks about the power of memory and the power of an aroma to evoke a memory, and about a lot of other things. It says, I was far from home in a strange land when a smell of chiles took me back to my ranch. The miles rolled backwards, the years disappeared, and again I saw my grandmother shaping tortillas. Smell of chilies, smell of childhood, so many years erased by nothing more than a fragrance. Smell of chiles, smell of home, makes me forget how time passes by. There are mouths that speak of me with hatred and disrespect while they eat the fruits that I pick for them. I came north to work without rest, and when I smell that aroma, it takes me back to my ranch. Olor a chiles. Estaba muy lejos de casa en un lugar ajeno, cuando un olor a chiles me llevó a mi terreno. Se desvanecieron los años, retrocedieron las millas. Otra vez vi a mi abuela amasando tortillas. Olor a chiles, olor a infancia, tantos años borrados por nada más que una fragancia. Olor a chiles, olor a casa, me ha hecho olvidar de cómo la vida pasa. Hay bocas que hablan de mí con odio y con desprecio, mientras se comen los frutos que yo les cosecho. Me vine en apuros pa'l norte a trabajar sin descanso, y cuando siento ese aroma me devuelve a mi rancho. Olor a chiles, olor a infancia, tantos años borrados por nada más que una fragancia. Olor a chiles, olor a casa, me ha hecho olvidar de cómo la vida pasa.
Oh,
Oh, that was
wonderful.
Beautiful.
Wonderful.
That was beautiful, and
Thank you.
just before you move on to your next song, I won't even take up your time. I just want to let you know from YouTube, from Nikki, she wanted me to say to you, fantastico y fantastica. I will
Muchas
leave it at
Muy bien,
that.
gracias, Nikki.
I wanted to mention, ay, gracias, that was so nice. I wanted to mention that we have just released a new CD this summer. It's called En Vivo en Familia, as Neil bravely pronounced for you, and very well, I might add. And it is, which means En Vivo en Familia means live in the family. And we recorded it with our daughter, Alisa Amador, who's a rising singer-songwriter and happens to be our audience today. So we're quite honored that she took the time to be with us, sitting right over there. And we are so excited about this album because it kind of brings together, well, it was our 25th anniversary with Sol y Canto, and it captures a lot of the songs that we do with her and some that we do on our own. That we've been singing for many years with beautiful three-part
And some of Alisa's
harmonies,
songs as well.
and some of Alisa's songs. So we encourage you to have a listen on our website, and it's also on Spotify. But if you believe in supporting the artists, you can get it from our webpage, solicanto.com. But please listen. Above all, listen, and you can also listen on Spotify. And,
That last song is on that album,
yes.
and the one we're going to
Yes.
do right now is also on the same CD.
Yes.
This one is called Epidemia de Soledad, Epidemic of Loneliness. I wrote it before we actually had an epidemic, but the epidemic of loneliness has been going on for a while. So they say there's an epidemic, a real plague that people are dying of loneliness, more damaging than tobacco, more damaging than alcohol. It's like a thorn in the heart. Oh, doctor, what can you give me to take away this pain? Oh, pain, what can I take to keep better, to feel better? And then Dr. Rosie says, your case is not unique. I see it more all the time. Know that you're not alone in your loneliness. It doesn't matter your religion, tribe, or credentials. There are so many people with the same affliction. There are many remedies you could try. None of them are perfect, but they might help. Less social networks, more real contact. Less bitterness and more gratitude. A good meal, a dose of laughter, calling up a friend and going out for a walk. Meditating, doing yoga, or a Zumba class, or grabbing your partner and dancing a cumbia. And if you want to do that, please feel free. Or even just grab yourself and dance a cumbia. This song is, in fact,
Dance
a
in the
cumbia,
mirror.
a very danceable Colombian rhythm. And so, here it is.
A bailar y a cantar. Dicen que hay una epidemia, una plaga de verdad, que la gente está muriendo de soledad, más dañina que el tabaco, más dañina que el alcohol, es como una espina en el corazón.
Ay, doctor, ¿qué me puede dar para quitarme este dolor? Hay dolor que puedo yo tomar para sentirme mejor.
¡Sabrosa cumbia! No es único su caso, cada vez lo veo más. Sepa que no está sola en su soledad. No importa su tribu, religión o creencia, hay muchas personas con la misma dolencia.
Ay, doctor, ¿qué me puede dar
¿Qué me puede
para quitarme este dolor?
quitarme este dolor?
Hay dolor que puedo yo tomar
¿Qué puedo yo tomar
para sentirme mejor. Saganga que te tere to, tere te tero de to, tere de to, te tero te te. Zeng deng deng do do tere te. Deng deng tere te tere de te te tero.
Hay muchos remedios que usted puede probar. Ninguno es perfecto, pero le pueden ayudar. Menos redes sociales, más contactos reales, menos amargura y más gratitud.
Una buena comida,
¡Qué rico!
una dosis de risa, llamar a una amiga y salir a caminar, meditar, hacer yoga, una clase de zumba, o agarrar su pareja y bailar una cumbia. Ay, doctor, ¿qué me puede dar
¿Qué me puede
para quitarme este dolor?
quitarme este dolor?
Hay dolor que puedo yo tomar para sentirme mejor. Ay, doctor, ¿qué me puede dar para quitarme este dolor? Hay dolor que puedo yo tomar para sentirme mejor. Sigue tiqui tin tin, sigue tin tin, sigue tiqui tin tin, sigue tiqui tiqui tin tin, sigue tin tin tin, le, 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 le.
¡Ay, nada más!
Gracias, Santo.
Gracias.
It was so wonderful.
Love it.
So much.
Oh
Your
my God,
energy level.
gorgeous.
So appreciate being a part of this. And please, again, a reminder to everyone to please donate. I don't know, do we have the link up on the YouTube page? That would be
Yes,
so
I've been
great.
putting
if you
I've been
could
putting
type
it up
in.
every
Excellent.
so often, as you suggested. I saw you.
Good.
I'm
You
just
were
being nice,
politely
dog.
hinting.
I did just briefly. I know we're getting close, but I just wanted to ask you where are you folks located?
Oh, we're in Cambridge, Massachusetts.
Oh, that far away from me, huh?
Yeah.
All 5 minutes.
Way on the
here.
other side of the river.
Ajá.
Then-
Al otro lado del río.
well, then we know we're gonna once we start up our physical open mics again, we know somebody to call. I think.
Ah.
But I do want to just let everybody know, both here in our little Zoom room of Zoom, but also on YouTube, to all of you over there that I'm looking to. I've been dashing to on my my iPhone. That we're getting another surprise from our surprise closers. Soli Canto is going to close our show for us tonight.
Right.
They've agreed to do that. So thank you for taking us out on this wonderful, wonderful night. You've been, every one of you, I want to thank you all. And before we actually do close, well, let's just do the closing song, and I'll have a few words after that.
All right.
Sounds good.
Soli Canto, everybody.
Okay.
All right.
Yay.
I wish there were no delay in Zoom so that we could invite everybody, all of us, to sing, because you know this song because Pete Seeger taught it to everybody in the United States. Just about everybody knows.
I think
the
you're
song.
right. I
Is that
think
good,
you're
Steve?
right.
Yeah. What are you gonna say?
I just want to say before we sing the song, one word: vote.
Thank you.
And you know for whom.
Change. I want to read to you what Pete Seeger used to say, which I have not memorized, so I'm going to go ahead and read it to you because I love it. Jose Marti was born in 1852. When he was 17 years old, he was active in the Cuban liberation movement, and he was exiled by the Spanish governor. He spent most of his life in exile, including 12 years in New York City. He wrote 70 books, poetry, novels, polemics. He's one of the greatest writers in the Spanish language. At the age of 42, he went back to Cuba, and this is one of the last poems because he was killed within the year in an aborted uprising. After he died, people put this poem about a girl from Guantanamo to a popular tune, Guantanamera. Okay. Sorry about that. Shall we start with the chorus? Here we go.
Guantanamera, Guajira Guantanamera, Guantanamera, Guajira Guantanamera. Yo soy un hombre sincero,
Díselo, Ryan.
de donde crece la palma. Yo soy un hombre sincero, de donde crece la palma. Que antes de morir me quiero echar mis versos del alma. Guantanamera, Guajira Guantanamera, Guantanamera, Guajira Guantanamera.
Mi verso es de un verde claro y de un carmín encendido. Mi verso es de un verde claro y de un carmín encendido. Mi verso es un ciervo herido que busca en el monte amparo.
Guantanamera, oh, Guantanamera, songo loco songo, Guantanamera, Guajira Guantanamera. Con los pobres de la tierra quiero yo mi suerte echar. Con los pobres de la tierra quiero yo mi suerte echar. El arroyo de la sierra me complace más que el mar. Guantanamera, Guajira Guantanamera, Guantanamera, Guajira Guantanamera.
Cultivo una rosa blanca en julio como en enero. Cultivo una rosa blanca en julio como en enero. Para el amigo sincero que me da su mano franca.
Guantanamera, Guajira Guantanamera, Guantanamera, Guajira Guantanamera. Y para el cruel que me arranca el corazón con que vivo, y para el cruel que me arranca el corazón con que vivo, cargos y ortigas cultivo, cultivo una Ahira Guantanamera. Guantanamera. Ahira Guantanamera. Guantanamera. Ahira Guantanamera.
Ay, nada
Oh,
Wonderful,
Sony,
wonderful.
everybody! Gracias, gracias.
Wonderful.
That was so wonderful.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much
Awesome.
for doing the closing. And to one and all that were here tonight, I just can't thank you enough. And I just want to, again, throw up this little tiny thing about donating as best you can, or go to just www.musiciansforthegreatergood.org and hit the donate button, because that's what we're here for tonight. But I also want to thank number one, I want to thank Greg Greenway for being with us tonight, and for doing a fabulous, fabulous headliner opening. We did such a wonderful job, Greg. If you're still listening, we love you. We thank you so much for being here and with us, and just feel better, my friend. And I also want to thank um, the Musicians for the Greater Good team that has been put together by our fearless leaders, Ron Israel and Stephen Martin, along with Kathy Donlan, who's been our gracious host tonight, and Mike Delaney, as well as Karen Sauer. And I better make sure I'm not leaving anybody out. So
Neil, can I say something?
you may certainly, sir. You can.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to send out an invitation to all our performers and also the people out who are listening to us live streaming that we are hosting an election night party
That's right.
where all performers are invited to perform. The event will also contain up to the minute breaking news updates on state by state election results and live comedy by Christine Lavin, am I right? And others.
Correct.
And so if you want to participate, I forget there's a sign up sheet, right? How do they do that? Karen, somebody can tell me if they want to
So
join our party?
we sent an email to all performers, and we'll send it again with a link to the Sign Up Genius
That is correct.
website.
Great.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and just so to go along with Ron, you finish what you're saying, and then I'll continue.
I'm done. I'm done.
Okay, going basically along with what Ron said, where he mentioned Christine Lavin. Christine Lavin will be on around the 9 o'clock hour, which is the hour. Of course, hopefully by then we'll have the good news and we'll have something to celebrate. But for those of you who know Christine, we'll have something to laugh about because she's quite the comedian. And that'll be the 9 o'clock hour, and that's what I will be emceeing that. But even more importantly, before that, we got to get to the next couple of more shows. And our next show is going to be next Tuesday, a week from today, at the same time, same place. And Kathy Donlan is going to be doing what she's doing tonight, I believe. And Stephen Martin will be emceeing like I'm doing. Tom Prasada Rao will be our headliner that night, and we've got a fantastic group of people who are going to be part of that show. Please don't miss it. Please don't forget to vote. Please don't forget to do anything you can to help your community and love one another forever, because that's what we need right now. Love is a huge symbol, and that's something I think Soli Canto brought out so well, as did each and every one of you. I thank you all for a most wonderful night. I couldn't have asked for a better team. What a wonderful night. Thank you all, and to our YouTube audience, thank you again. If you're still on, please hit the donate button if you can, and I will say good night to you. And if I remembered my Spanish better, I would be able to say
Adiós.
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Noches.
adios, and gracias. Muchas gracias.
Gracias.
Okay, good night, everybody. Thanks so much for coming. We'll see you again soon, I hope.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Neil.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so much.
much.